Hey everybody, here's chapter 13, the years 2003, 2004, and 2005. So in 2003, Dante had been diagnosed about 2 or 3 years at that point. He turned 5 years old in early '03, and we're working with him hard. And things are going pretty well, actually. Dylan's working hard. Dylan has also taken a job working with children like Dante, with children with learning disabilities. So that's really cool. And in 2004, Dylan gets pregnant by me, and he's born in October. So Dante is almost 7 years old by the time Logan is born, which there's arguments for and against how how long you should have in between siblings. There's a lot of theories out there, or even if an only child is best. But he didn't really want Logan around at first. I think sometimes he still doesn't want Logan around. But Logan's been a really good brother to him. He's been a good brother to Logan generally. So Logan's born in 2004. I get fired from my job right before he's born. That sucked. I was working in orthopedics from 2000 to 2004. I got fired over bullshit. I was supposed to get a promotion. They told me to fuck myself, and I told them to fuck themselves. And since they couldn't fire me for that, they decided to try to make me miserable. They did, and then finally I just kind of, I wasn't even that, I was honestly fired for being in a bad mood, was what it was. And we had a Jesus freak there, and she heard me say, Jesus Christ, I was pissed about something, and she went right up to the manager, and 5 minutes later I was getting fired, and I was like, this has nothing to do with what I'm upset about. This has to do with her being sensitive about that. It was kind of ridiculous. So, anyway, that was okay. That happened. I luckily went on to greener pastures about a year later. So when Logan was born, neither of us were working. Dylan was in between jobs. She had she took time off. I don't know if she's between jobs or she just took time off for the pregnancy. But luckily, we had enough money to get by. We had saved some money. And so we did okay. I had some savings bonds from my grandmother from years ago, and I used those. We got by. And Logan was born. It was kind of unusual circumstances for Logan's birth. First of all, when you have a special needs child, often on your second child and subsequent children, they will check. The doctors will check and see, just to give you a heads up, kind of like they will do an amniocentesis. They will also do ultrasound. And on one of Dylan's ultrasounds, it looked like Logan might have Down syndrome. When they do the ultrasound or on the image, if there's extra skin at the back of the neck of the fetus, that could mean the child has Down syndrome. It often does. And I freaked out. I was like, oh man, we already got one special needs child, now we're getting a second one. And Dylan was really awesome about it. Her attitude on stuff, that was why we made a good couple for such a long time. Her yin was my yang. We worked out a lot, really well. And so, like, she's like, what better people to have a second special needs kid than the one who already have experience with the first special needs kid? Like, Jesus, you're amazing. We dodged a bullet, though. I mean, I'm not saying you can't extract the same amount of joy from a Down syndrome kid that you can a typical kid, but I can tell you from working with them, that's why we're there, right? That's why I have a job, is that special needs kids are more work. They're not easy. You have to do all you can to give them a shot at a quote-unquote normal life. So I was a little bit freaked out about that. Logan was born, and like I said earlier, with Dante's birth, Dante had the unusual birth where he had that super long umbilical cord, where both the doctor and the midwife were like, I have never seen an umbilical cord this long, and it had wrapped 3 times around his neck and his body and his arm and his leg. He looked like a top when he came out of there, and I didn't get to cut the cord. He had to. The doctor had to. That was fine. Yeah, let's bring me in there stumbling after watching my wife in agony for 16 hours, and I guess I could do that. No, need to be done quickly. So, and Dante luckily took that breath, and he's good. So, Logan, another unusual thing that both the doctor and the midwife had said they had never seen was she was pushing really hard. It was that time. She was at 10 centimeters or whatever, and she's pushing, and it looks like it was crazy. It looked like a gallon-size plastic bag of Lipton soup just went bloop right out of her, birth canal. And I was like, oh, Jesus, because there's a second where he said, what just went wrong? But it was just the bag of waters hadn't broken. She was able to push the bag of waters out. It was pretty crazy. The doctor just took a scalpel and went, psh, okay, that's out of the way. Let's get this baby coming. And he did, and everything was fine. With Logan, there was an issue as well, actually, a small one where it's called bilirubin. It's either, I forgot exactly what it was. I think you have bilirubin in your blood or you don't have it. I think you have it and you're not supposed to. And so he had to be in a little incubator type of bassinet. Luckily at home, though, he didn't have to stay at the hospital for about 3 weeks. And there's like these fluorescent, they call them billy lights, and they extract that stuff out of your body or force it out of your body. I guess you kind of poop it out. But he had to do that, and we only got to hold him like 5 minutes every hour for 3 weeks. That was hard, and Dylan was breastfeeding him most of those times. I just hold him when I could. He had to have a blindfold over him, because those lights will jack up a baby's eyes. But he ended up okay. And then so we're working with Dante. That's our life right now. Like 2003, 4, 5. I mean, in the couple of years before that, even we're working with Dante real hard. We've got volunteers working with him. We take breaks, but it was really a tight family. Like I said, we had college volunteers that it was all women, young women that worked there were early special ed majors in school, and they needed volunteer hours or they looked good on a resume, and so they would work with Dante, and they were great. I mean, I have no complaints about any of those women. They were great. And then Dylan and I would take turns working with him. And at this time, and I've always been kind of OCD for people who don't know, and I was taking care of the house. That's what I did. Dylan always made more money. Dylan was a great parent and still is. And then between working her butt off with the kid and at work, she was tired and she'd take it easy. And frankly, at that time, especially right around when Logan was born, I was unemployed anyway. But that was just my thing. I took care of the house. I did all that stuff. I changed a ton of diapers, most of the diapers, and then I did all the houseworks and all that still. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that's the way it was. That's what you do when you're a team, right? Some people do some of the heavy lifting. Other people do other parts of the heavy lifting. We did fine. And it was kind of cool. Logan was born on October 25th, 2004, and he was born 2:23 in the morning, and I swear Dylan was probably holding him in because October 24th is my father's birthday. And Dylan, suffice it to say, not a fan. Because he's, she watched him when we were first going out, when we were in our late 20s. I'd be crying on the phone. He just made me feel horrible. I don't know why he thought that's what fathering was, or why he is so dissatisfied in this, but it really hurt back then. Now I don't give a shit. But Dylan really, it hurt her, and she hated it. And so she was just like, fuck that guy. I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, yeah, she didn't want Logan's birthday, and his birthday did the same. Even he was like, that's how much of an egomaniac my dad can be. Like, yeah, let's try to get that kid born on my birthday. Who the fuck are you? And by the way, your birthday is not special. There's almost 8 billion people on this planet. Do the math. There's only 365 days. I did the math, actually. It's 20 million people per birthday. So you're not that special. Unless you're a leap baby, and even then, there's probably, I don't know how many, but there's probably several million that have been born on leap years every 4 years, or on February 29th every 4 years. Anyway, I'm kind of getting off the track. So, I'm unemployed. Dylan's unemployed. We have the baby. Everything's going great. Dylan gets a new job at JFK Partners, I believe. I get it all mixed up. She's worked a lot of places with a lot of children, but this place is in Aurora, and it was a long drive. It was over by Fitzsimmons, which is like Colfax and 225, and she was at 6th and we were at 6th and Wadsworth. There's no real easy way to get over there. It's a pain in the ass. So we decided to move over there, and Dylan's always been good at finding the deals on the houses, getting the cars. She's good at that stuff. So I said, hey, you like the house? And, I can live anywhere. I liked Cleveland, remember? So I like it anywhere. It's like, hey, as long as it's not a shithole, get the house. We got the house in 2005. A couple months later, I got a great job at a place called Space Imaging, which eventually became Digital Globe. I made some good friends there, made a lot of money, and here we are. So I'm at 10 minutes in. I know those weren't exciting years, but that's what we were doing. We were raising kids and just trying to live the American dream. All right, so that's chapter 13, years 2003 through 2005. I will do chapter 14 soon and get it out to you. Thanks. Bye.